Save My Environment As is one of the customization options under My NavigateLA. You can access it by clicking on the Advanced Options button while logged into your My NavigateLA account. It allows you to save your map environment as one of three types: a bookmark, a theme, or a project. The process for creating either of these is the same. Select the type of environment you want to save. Enter a name for your environment. Add a description, and press save. Let's go over how to create each of these environment types. Bookmarks are used to save a specific map location and scale. To create one, go to the map location you want to bookmark. In this example, we're bookmarking 227 East 28th Street, the site of a sidewalk repair project. Next, click on the Save My Environment As option under My NavigateLA in the Advanced Options panel. Then, select Bookmark as the environment type and supply a name for it. From there, add a brief description for your bookmark. This step is optional but recommended, as it functions as a tooltip whenever you hover over the bookmark name. Finally, press save. Your new bookmark will now appear under My Bookmarks, which you can access in the My NavigateLA options by clicking the blue return arrow. To test your bookmark, click on the Zoom to Full Extent button in the Tools panel, and then click on the bookmark name. As you can see, the bookmark restores your map location and scale to its saved position. In this next example, we'll use the Save My Environment As option to create a theme. Themes are used to save the layer definitions of your map, which refers to a layer's visibility and transparency settings in the Table of Contents panel. Themes save time by allowing you to personalize your layer settings so that only those you commonly work with are toggled on. This eliminates the need to regularly toggle off unneeded layers. This is particularly useful since many of NavigateLA's 300 plus layers are on by default. In addition, you can create different themes for different projects or workflows. To create a theme, toggle on all the layers you want to view, and toggle off those you don't. Please note that a theme will remember the on and off settings of both the group layers and the nested layers, so make sure to define your layers accordingly. For instance, in this example, we'll toggle off the sewer fee nested layer and toggle on the land-based sanitation nested layers. If needed, you can adjust the transparency of your layers using the transparency sliders, located at the top of the Table of Contents panel or next to the base map name, and the theme will remember the setting. With our layer settings established, we're now ready to create our theme. Click on the Save My Environment As option and select Theme as the environment type. Then, supply a name and description for your theme. As previously mentioned, the description is optional but recommended, as it functions as a tooltip whenever you hover over the theme name. Finally, press Save. Your new theme will now appear under My Themes, which you can access in the My NavigateLA options by clicking on the blue return arrow. To test your theme, you must first restore your default NavigateLA layer settings by refreshing your page or by clicking on the default layers in the Show Me tab. At this point, notice that many of the layers are toggled on by default. Now, click on the theme you just created to restore your saved settings. As you can see, the theme settings have been restored for both the group layers and the nested layers. In this final example, we'll use the Save My Environment As option to create a project. Projects are used to save your entire NavigateLA environment, including your map location, layer settings, and markups. In other words, a project combines the functions of a bookmark and a theme, but with the added function of saving markups. To create a project, set your location and layer settings as was done in the previous bookmark and theme examples. Next, add your markups to the map. Markups are created using the draw tools and can include images such as JPEG, which you can drag onto the NavigateLA map. Now that our environment is set up, we're ready to create our project. Click on the Save My Environment As option and select Project as the environment type. Then, supply a name and description for your project. As previously mentioned, the description is optional but recommended, as it functions as a tooltip whenever you hover over the project name. Finally, press Save. Your new project will now appear under My Projects, which you can access in the My NavigateLA options by clicking on the blue return arrow. To test your project, first make sure to remove any default bookmarks or themes you may have set earlier. Then refresh your page. Now, go to the My Project shortcut and select the project you just created. Your whole environment should be restored, including your map location, layer settings, and markups. We've now covered the Save My Environment As option in detail. If you need to review any of the My NavigateLA options, including My Projects, click on the Help button on the top right corner of the Advanced Options panel to view a summary. We hope this video was helpful and informative. If you'd like to submit a comment or question or report a problem, feel free to contact us at the email shown on the screen, eng.navsupt@lacity.org. Thanks for watching.